Hello YouTube, Captain Mac here, and welcome to the MacAir group flight for the destination of the month. Some of you are familiar that every month MacAir puts together a destination of the month, and the goal is to be able to fly into all of them throughout the year. Hold on one sec. Had to cough in your face. And then you get like a badge and stuff like that. It's just something fun to do. And then we also have group flights, and we're going to combine the two today, and I'm going to make a video out of it. So what you're looking at right now, we are flying from Keflavik, which is BIKF, down to EGLF, which is Farnborough. And many of you are familiar with Farnborough. It's where there's a huge air show every year. Sadly, this year was supposed to be the last air show in Farnborough. I have no idea why. But on top of that, with everything going on in the world, they've now canceled it. So this is sort of MacAir's tribute to the Farnborough Air Show, and all of us are going to fly down there together. Now we're using JoinFS as the server to fly together, and what's really cool about that is down here in the Quality Wing 787, that's the only livery I have. I don't have any liveries loaded for it right now. But this is the MacAir COO Joe, and he's flying in FSX. I'm here in the Cargolux 747-8, and I'm flying in P3D. This guy here is in X-Plane, and he's flying the MacAir 737 and so on. And that's one of the really cool things about JoinFS is you can fly across different platforms. You can still fly together. Now, there is a little caveat to that. Where everybody appears on my screen right now is not where they appear on their own screen. And what I mean by that is Joe, for example, here is in the weeds on his simulator right now. So I just had everybody move to a position where we could get a nice introduction shot here. And then once we're done, everybody will move to a position that's more appropriate according to their simulator. And hopefully we won't have any aircraft on top of each other. With all of that being said, I'm going to break away here. When we come back, we're going to be on the flight deck. We'll do some introductions for everybody that's flying with us. Then we'll take care of the rest of our pre-flight, get all the doors closed up, and we'll get ready to take off and fly on down to the air show. So I hope you guys enjoy the flight, and I'll see you back here in just a second. Alrighty folks, we're getting closer to departure time here. We're going to take care of all of our pre-flight stuff and get us all the way up to the push and start phase. And then we'll be taking care of some introductions of everybody that's going to be flying with us today, and then on we go. Now some of this we're going to go through a little quicker than we normally do because we're going to be on a time crunch here. We need to make sure we depart on time. So you can see we've got power on the aircraft. I've already aligned the IRS. We can just double check up here. The battery is on, the guard is closed, bus ties are set to auto, gen control switches are on. The hydraulic pump selectors are all off except for 4, which is on auxiliary, and then the engine pumps are all on with the pressure lights showing. Emergency lights are armed and closed. We can test our fire warning. There we go. All of that's working properly there. And start switches are all in the off position. All of our fuel pumps are off right now. We're running on ground power. Yaw dampers are on. Let's see, trim air is on, all of our temps are set to auto, packs need to come on, all 3 of those there, isolation switches stay on, APU bleed and engine bleeds are all on, and our nav light switch is on as well. We don't typically go through this except during cold and dark startups, but we can do a quick test up top here. Cockpit voice recorder first, light comes on, we're good. Squib test for 1 and 2. Keep in mind this one doesn't go on during test number 2. And the FMC initialization has already been done, but we haven't done the flight planning yet, so we can jump down here. Actually, I'm sorry, I did do the flight planning. I loaded a company route, but I haven't finished all of the performance initialization, so let's jump into that. We are heavy today, 0 fuel weight of 706,000 pounds. Our reserve fuel, as a matter of fact, before we jump too deep into this, let's take a look at our Sim Toolkit Pro and our flight for the day. So it's going to be BIKF out to EGLF. Our air distance is 1,005 nautical miles. It's just about a 3-hour flight. Things are going to be a little different today. We're not going to be breaking away at the end of every section. Once we introduce everybody and get ready to start engines, it's going to be a continuous recording. With that in mind, I may not be talking as much. I'll just be doing what I do, and you guys, you know, there may be some silence in there, or you may hear some conversation amongst the guys, so just keep that in mind. Our trip fuel is 56,602 pounds with a final reserve fuel of 11,506 pounds. Our block fuel is 94,909 pounds. Coming on down here, 2 hours and 50 minutes is what we're scheduled for. Might take a little bit longer, we'll see. Cargo's at 269,700 pounds, total payload of 271,500 pounds, and our zero fuel weight at 706,100 pounds. We are very, very heavy, so keep that in mind. Our takeoff weight, max is 819,600 pounds. We are at 799,000 pounds, and I just want to show you real quick, this runway, that's going to be our departure, we'll brief this in a bit, is only 10,056 feet. So it's going to be quite the takeoff. So that's the basic flight plan for the day. We'll get a little more into that as we press on. So final reserves we said was going to be 11,506. We'll just go 11.5. There we go. Cruise altitude is going to be, I didn't even look at that while I was on there. Where you at? Hold on, I gotta find it now. Oops. Flight level looks like 350 is going to be our cruise altitude. I don't even know if we can get to 350. We'll see. So flight level 350. Cost index is going to be 85, and the other guys should be flying on 85 as well. Go to our thrust limit. We are absolutely going to need max takeoff power, and we're going to be taking off with flaps 20. We're going to need all the lift we can get. Center of gravity at 22%. We haven't done our departure yet, so let's do that. Okay, that's weird. It does have departures. I don't know why it says there's no departure. That's interesting. Okay, well, it's going to be runway 28, so let's put it won't even let us put that in there, will it? That's kind of weird. Alright, let's go back to... Nope, that's not where I want to be. Initial reference, index, and should be under performance. No. Position. Next page. Where do I put in the runway? It's not even giving me an option to put in a runway. Route. There we go. Runway. Runway 28. That might tell me that runway doesn't exist. Yeah, not in database. The runway out here is... Hold on, I got to check it real quick. Okay, so it's runway 29 in the sim. So I need 29. There we go. And we'll execute that. Now we can go to our takeoff page, and it gives us V speeds 138, 148, 165. And based on a flight that I just did yesterday, one that you guys will see popping up here probably after this video, we're going to be cutting it close on that runway. I can tell you that right now. We're going to need every last square inch of it. So yeah, that should be interesting. But that takes care of all of our FMC pre-flight. We're going to leave this page up here. We're going to assume that our cargo is loaded at this point. So what we need to do is go to our service vehicles first, and we need to release all of these. And the only reason I had these up is because GSX doesn't, this isn't a parking position, so GSX is like, yeah, you're not there, so you know, that's what, you know what would be really nice actually is if GSX would allow you to create a parking position. I think that would be fantastic. Let's go to our doors and let's go close all. And that should include the nose cargo, which it does. Fantastic. Now let's jump over here to our checklist really quick. Turn that guy on. Come down here. Oxygen has been tested. It's at 100%. Let's see. Flight instruments. We haven't set those yet, have we? And that's because we haven't done our briefing yet. But you know what? We can set those right now anyway. So we're going to be able to go straight up to our altitude of 350 based on our departure. So I'll put that in here. There we go. And then flight directors can come on. Auto throttle is already armed. LNAV and VNAV can both be armed as well. And we said 165, so it's 170 is our MCP speed. There we go. So we can check that off now. The parking brake, let's just double check. It is not set, is it? I have to change views here. For some reason, it likes to go away. Or it likes to take it off when you put the chocks on. Okay, and that'll put us on our before start checklist on there. Now let's just let's get rid of that for the moment. Put the engine page on there, and let's make sure we haven't missed anything. Going down our checklist here, we do need to take care of our squawk code. We're going to be 2336. We will be simulating ATC today, and that'll just be through Discord, which is where we'll be chatting as well. Remember, the test is internal for the TCAS on here. Let's double check and make sure all those doors are closed and locked now. I can pop that up for you. Yep, so nothing's showing open, so that's good. We've got our clearance. We won't need to push back. We'll just be able to start in the position that we're in. We do want to make sure that the beacon light is... I'm sorry, I jumped down too far on the checklist. LNAV and VNAV are already armed. Autopilot disengage bar is in the up position. Fuel control switches are cut off. That's these guys down here. Trim settings, we can't set those until we have... hydraulics on the aircraft. Brain doesn't want to work. It's going to be 6.3 when the time comes. Auto brake needs to be set to RTO. Hopefully we won't need to use that. TCAS switch is on the transponder mode. TCAS biasing mode can go to above. That'll just be for our takeoff. The seatbelt sign can go to the auto position. Flight deck door is closed and locked. And what else we got here? Traffic button. We're going to want to push that guy on here. There we go, and we're gonna zoom that. Will it show this airport, I wonder? Yeah, it will. Fantastic. I wonder why it shows that runway in yellow. You see that? I'm assuming, I'm assuming that means that's a runway we can't use, but we're gonna be taking 29, so I'm not worried about that. Sorry, a message jumped up on Discord there. I'll get to that in just a minute. Okay, pressing on here, so we press the traffic button. Fuel, we're going to be the first one out, so we don't need to take extra fuel for holding, but some of the guys will. And then we can turn the fuel pumps on. We're not going to do that quite yet because we're going to need to start the APU, which we'll be doing here shortly. So I'm going to break away. We're getting close to our departure time here, and once we're a little bit closer, we're going to do introductions for everybody, and then we'll finish. We'll get the APU on, and we'll start engines. We'll be ready to go. Alright everybody, we're just about to start engines here. I want to take a moment to let everybody who's flying with us today introduce themselves. We'll start with our COO. Joe, if you want to go ahead and lead us off there.
How you doing everybody? Joe A. From the United States, New York, and I am the, like Captain Matt said, the COO of Millennium Aviation.
This is Jerry. I am PAFA Hub Manager. Live in Sequim, Washington.
Hello, this is Joachim from Sweden. I'm MacAir staff at training department.
Hello, this is Jim. I'm up in North Idaho. I'm a Zurich Hub Manager.
Hello, my name is Pat. I'm the DHO over at MacAir. I'm in Canada, Ontario, near Ottawa.
So this is Steve. I'm in Florida, United States, and I am the Destination of the Month Manager for MacAir.
And this is Tom. I'm MacAir number 14. I'm a pilot on MacAir, and I am also from Florida.
All right, fantastic. Thanks for taking a minute to introduce yourself, guys. If you guys couldn't hear Pat, he's a little quiet. Pat, maybe if there's a way you can bring up your volume just a bit. Pat is my friend who's up in Canada, eh? So we'll be giving him a hard time today, and then of course I'm over in the United States as well. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and get ready to start our engines, and we will be using this frequency that we're all talking on right now. It'll be our chat frequency, but it'll also be what we use as our Unicom for some simulated ATC. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and take care of, let's see, we got to get our, this is different for me doing it this way. So let's get the APU started up here. And while that's starting up, I just want to double check all my doors. I know we did that already, but it's a good idea to do it anyway. So there we go. And you may hear some of the guys talk over us just a little bit. We are getting the notification that we didn't turn the window heat on. That's my bad. Get the window heat on there. That's always a good idea, right? And let's see here. for our engine start and pushback, gangway is disabled, doors are closed. We have our clearance. Beacon light needs to come on. Put that on both right there. Hydraulic demand pump switches 1 through 3 all go to auto. I have to close this door so none of the cats come in here. Well, it's running into stuff. There we go. Alright, so 1 through 3 go on, 4 stays on auxiliary. Pack 1 stays on, 2 and 3 go off. Engine bleed air switches are all on at this point. And what else we got here? Just opening the engines page on the ICUS, which we'll do that here in just a minute. So the APU is up and running now, so let's jump up here and let's put the APU gen on. We'll use both of them now because the doors are closed. There we go. And then we can disconnect the ground power, so let's come down here. And you know what I forgot to do? It doesn't matter. Let's see here. Ground connections. Release the ground power. Release the air conditioning unit. And double check. Make sure that parking brake is on, which it is. So we can go ahead and remove the chocks as well. We don't need to push back, which is a good thing since GSX ain't working anyway. Put this guy on the legs page. We keep this one on the takeoff page. And what else we got here? Everything's ready to go. I think we're good on everything. Let's see if all the guys are ready. Let me just double check the time. Yeah, we're still about technically 10 minutes from being ready to depart. So with 10 minutes left to go, everybody should be getting their pre-flight finalized and be getting ready to start engines. We'll probably start engines at about the 5-minute mark. And other than that, I'm pretty much just going to keep the recording going, so there will probably be a lot of sections where it's really just blank or quiet. And I will probably make it a point, if there's no chat or anything like that, I'll make it a point to maybe edit those out just so that it doesn't make this, because we're talking 3 hours of flying time here. I do want to do these in the future as a live stream, so but do me a favor, guys, hop down in the comments down there if you would, please, and just give a little shout out and a thank you to all the guys who are joining me on this group flight today. I think it's fantastic to have so many folks here from MacAir getting ready to do this group flight. I think it's going to be a good time. Now there is one thing we haven't done yet, 2 things actually, now that I think about it. It's good we got a few minutes left because I almost forgot. So checklist first, MCP V2 is set to 170 on the MCP. The heading, our runway heading is going to be, let me just double check, 284, give or take a little bit. It's probably going to be off from that, but that's alright. We'll set this to 284. There we go. Hey, that was fantastic. And then the altitude is set to flight level 350. And for the rest of you guys, I'm not sure what altitude you're flying at, but I'll be taking it up to 350 if the aircraft can make it. Okay, so we're done with that one. Takeoff speed.
Cap, what I advised everybody was to climb to the whatever their aircraft FMC advises as their initial cruise altitude, and then we can adjust from there.
Roger, sounds good, buddy. Alright, so we've got V1 is 138, VR at 148, and V2 at 165. CDU pre-flight is complete. Trim is not yet, but we'll take care of that. And that brings us into our taxi and takeoff briefing. You guessed it, we're using Sim Toolkit Pro. ATIS is going to be on 128.3. We're just using our active sky weather. Keflavik delivery on 21.0, ground on 21.9, and tower on 18.3. And again, we'll just be simulating Unicom for all of this. Now we're over here on the east apron. Sorry, coughing in your face there. And we're going to be taking runway 28. It's listed or labeled as 29 in the simulator, but I'm going to be announcing it as runway 28 because some of the guys have it as 28 and some of it have it as 29, and I have no idea why. It's not a long runway. We're going to need every last square inch of it for our departure. Now taking a look at our departure, we're going to be flying the the Pixum 2D is the one we're flying. So when we first depart, it says max speed 210 knots. We might go a little over that. We'll try and keep it pretty close though. Left turn to 195, max speed of 240 out here at KF 236. It's a left turn from there to 108, at or above 7,000 by the time you get to KF 437. We'll continue on that heading until we get to Olgies or Olgies. flight level 110, and that's something we need to do. We need to set our transition level in here, which is, I believe,
And for everybody's
7,000
situational awareness, current weather is information hotel. Wind is 280 at 10. Few clouds 1,400. Broken 2,100. QNH is 1013. 1013.
All right, and then continuing from oldies, we need to be at or above flight level 11,000 or 110. Right turn to 136, out to KF3, or I'm sorry, 239, at or above flight level 140, and then out to Pixum, and then on course from there. Shouldn't be too difficult to get all that figured out. That's our taxi and takeoff briefing. And that leads us to our before taxi, which is our after start checklist as well. So we'll put this on the engines page here. And just double check. So QNH is 1013. I've got that on there now, and I think we are good to go. What's our time here? 10:54.
I think we just gained Terry.
Morning, Jim.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Hey, Terry.
Am I late to the party?
Just a little late, Terry. You want to do me a favor? We're already recording. Do me a favor and introduce yourself to the folks. Give them your first name and your location and your role at MacAir, would you please?
Sure. So my name is Thierry, spelled Thiery, but Terry's fine with me. I'm based in Austin, Texas, and I'm a friend of MacAir through Mirage mostly.
All right, fantastic. Welcome to the group flight. I appreciate you coming. For those of you who don't know, Millennium Aviation Company, which is run by Jerry, we've been friends. Jerry and I have been friends for years, and that is Millennium Aviation Company is its own virtual airline. I actually did a nice promo video for them. You guys can check it out on my channel, and it's a great little virtual airline. I'll let Jerry talk about that maybe a little bit later. But Millennium Aviation Company and I kept saying, okay, I'm stuttering here now. I kept saying Millennium Aviation Company. What I meant was Jerry runs Mirage Executive Charters. I'm sorry, Jerry, my brain's not functioning properly. It never does when I do a video. Jerry runs Mirage Executive Charters, and we have partnered with them, so you can fly Mirage Executive Charters flights through MacAir, and it's a really cool setup. And maybe once we get up to cruise, we'll ask Jerry if he'll tell us a little bit about Mirage. All right, so we're down to 4 minutes till departure, and so we're getting ready to kick this off here, and I'll make my radio announcements in just a minute. Keflavik traffic, Millennium 001 is 747-8 on the east ramp, getting ready to start engines. Keflavik. All right, guys, so you should hear them making their announcements pretty soon as well. Let's go ahead and jump into our engine start here.
60, type Boeing 787-10 on the east ramp, going to engine start, Keflavik traffic.
So it's going to be an auto start for us. We're going to start with engines 1 and 4.
Traffic, Millennium
1 and 4 there.
East ramp.
And as soon as we got the N2 coming up there, we can go ahead and move the fuel control switches to the run position.
Millennium 130 at stand 120 with information hotel ready to start.
We might actually have an on-time departure here, guys.
Keflavik traffic, Millennium 304 at the east apron, ready to start.
Keflavik traffic, Millennium 124, type 737 on east ramp, starting engines.
Keflavik traffic, Millennium 140 on the east ramp, type B744, starting engines.
All right, good stuff.
Traffic, Millennium 11 type Boeing 777 east ramp, starting engines.
Good stuff, huh, guys? That's pretty cool. Okay, so that's engines 1 and 4 started. Let's go ahead and start 2 and 3. Watch down here. Once you see that N2 coming up, you can go ahead and introduce the fuel because it's an auto start sequence. So you see the auto start pops up. I don't know why our auto brakes went off of RTO. Oh, they keep going off RTO. Oh, you know what? It's because maybe it's because we're starting engines? That's weird. Never seen that before. just keeps clicking off. We'll have to make sure those are on before we depart, huh? And watch, I'll forget too, knowing me. Alright, let's come over here and let's go ahead and let's get the rest of our lights on. Wing lights, we don't need logo lights. Nav lights are on, strobe lights will wait. And we're 2 minutes till departure, so we're looking good. You keep seeing me looking at the clock down here. We're going to be departing at 1100 local time. Oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't turn the fuel pumps on. Look at that. So I'm getting fuel warnings across the board here. That was dumb. Oh my goodness. Config parking brake, config flaps. What the heck is going on here? Why did that go? That was interesting. I mean, all of them are working. I don't know why it did that. Okay, so alright, let's take care of our after start procedures here. Jumping up top, APU can go off now. We don't need it anymore. APU bleed air can go off as well. Packs all go to normal. That's these guys right here. Hydraulic command pump selector 4 goes to auto. Engine and wing anti-ice, those will stay where they're at. They're on auto anyway. And then check the main display for warnings. And we've got just a check non-normal. Not really sure why. Let's take a look at it here. And let's go to the non-normal menu. It went away. So it probably was just because of that config warning that we were getting. Alright, so what else we got here? That's our before taxi checklist. And we're just about ready to go here. So let's go ahead and take care of this checklist really quick. Flaps need to be set to 20. We also need to take care of the trim. So let's put on flight controls here really quick. Trim needs to be at 6.3. That's a little high. Flight controls check full left, full right, and neutral all the way up, all the way down, and neutral, and then on the rudder full left, full right, and neutral, and that completes our flight controls check. Alright, what else we got here? Let's go back to our checklist. Anti-ice is good. Recall has been checked. Auto brake, let's try it on RTO again, see if it stays. It does. Flight controls have been checked. Ground equipment is clear. And that takes us to our before takeoff checklist. We do need to go one more setting on the flaps here. And that should wrap up that checklist for us as well. And we're only 1 minute behind departure. So not too bad. Alright, let's put this on the engines page. Let's jump over here. Let's get the track hour coming on. A little jump. Get our lights coming on over here. 1, 2, and 3. Fantastic. Keflavik traffic. Millennium 001 at the east ramp. Taxi to runway 28. Keflavik. Alrighty, guys. Brakes coming off. Should hear the other guys.
Millennium 160 is taxiing to 28 via November 1 with hotel. Keflavik traffic.
I didn't get my taxi route, did I? Oops.
Keflavik traffic, Millennium 12 taxi to runway 28.
BIKF traffic, Millennium 130 taxiing to runway 28 via November 1.
Keflavik traffic, Millennium 304 type Boeing 777-300. Taxiing via
I keep forgetting to say heavy.
Hotel to runway 28.
Don't forget to use the heavy with our call signs. I forgot as well, guys.
Good catch, Cap. Sorry.
Keflavik traffic, this Millennium 14, east ramp. It's Boeing 744 heavy, taxiing to runway 29.
Keflavik traffic, Millennium 124, type 737, non-heavy on the east ramp, taxiing November 1 for runway 28.
So just as a reminder, guys, if you're not heavy, you don't need to say non-heavy, but if you are heavy, you need to say heavy at the end of your call sign. I made the mistake too, so. Alright, we got our traffic on. Let's see, what else? Let's get, we're getting ready to go here, so. Keflavik traffic, standby. Go ahead, whoever that was.
Keflavik traffic, Millennium 11 Heavy, taxiing to runway 28 via November. Keflavik traffic.
Okay, we'll let the rest of these guys get out. Anybody else who needs to announce their taxi, go ahead. Alrighty, Keflavik traffic, Millennium 001 Heavy is lining up runway 28 for departure on the Pixum 2 departure, Keflavik. Alright, let's get these lights on here.
Approaching 2.
All of them.
9.
And strobe lights as well. There we go. So again, it's showing up as 2.9 in the sim, but pretty much everybody else has shown it as 2.8, and in the real world it's supposed to be 2.8, so that's what we're labeling it as here, or what we're calling it. Probably zoom that out just a little far for departure, huh? There we go. So it doesn't have all the waypoints in there, unfortunately. Let's get lined up and I'll try and fix those real quick. I should have done that beforehand. We need every square inch of this runway, so we're going to go most of the way across, and then we're going to swing it really hard here. And try not to use up any more of the runway than necessary. If we're not lined up dead center, that's alright. We'll line up as we go. So as you can see, we're not quite on the center of the runway. That's alright. Real quick, track IR coming off. I just want to go down here on our legs page. So we're not going direct to Pixum. Let's see if it takes KF235. If it doesn't, then we'll just do what we got to do. 235. Let's see if that goes in there. It does, and then it's KF236. I should have done this already. I apologize. So KF236, and then from there it's KF437. Wow, I can't even believe I didn't notice this. KF437. This will give the guys a second to taxi anyway. And then from there it is OLGES. Oh, I know why I didn't do this. Because it didn't even have the departure in there. And then from there it is KF239. I wonder why it didn't have the departure in there. That's kind of weird. I've got updated data. Let's execute that and then go to the next page. And then from 239 it's direct to Pixum, so we can execute that as well. And then last thing, real quick, I just want to check my altitudes here. So we need to be at Olgis at or above 11,000. We are, and then I didn't do the VNAV. Transition altitude is 7,000 feet. So my apologies to all the guys waiting behind me there. I know you guys are ready to rock and roll. We don't need that up there. Put that on the legs page and we are ready to go. Keflavik traffic, Millennium 001 Heavy taking off for runway 28, Keflavik. Alright, let's get these up to at least 70%. We're going to need every last bit of everything we got. So holding the brakes, letting them stabilize. They're pretty close to 70. Release and toga mode. And you watch, this bird is going to be slow to get going.
Heavy lining up and waiting runway 28. Going to be departing via the Paxil 2 Delta departure. Going to be climbing via the SID.
Check. Oh man, we're going to use all of it. It's a good thing we got a strong headwind, or we'd be in trouble. Yeah.
Rotate.
We didn't use near as much as I was worried about. Good.
Me too. Positive rate of climb.
Gear coming up. I should turn my track IR back on. There we go. Keflavik traffic, Millennium 001 Heavy, clear of runway 28, Keflavik. So we should hear these guys taking off. So
Keflavik traffic, Millennium 160 taking off 28.
Just a little bit down on the nose trim. Come on. There we go. It'll bounce around on us a little
Traffic
bit.
Millennium 130 lining up 28.
Here's our thrust reduction altitude. up on KF235 here. We should be starting our turn shortly. There it is. Watch that nose doesn't drop on you, because it likes to. There we go. Looking pretty good.
Skyliner traffic, Millennium 160 heavy, clear runway 28.
Traffic, Millennium 130, taking off, runway 28.
Should just be going all the way through the turn. We'll bring in a little nose up trim to help us, because I'm holding it right now, and that can get to be a little difficult. As soon as we come out of the turn, though, it's going to want to climb. So that's something you got to keep in mind when you do that. Start rolling her out gently here.
Traffic.
It's going to continue to turn though. See how it wants to climb because we're not turning quite as steep now.
Runway 28.
When the fuel overrides are off, we can turn those on real quick.
Traffic, Millennium 130, clear off the runway.
Make the turn. There we go.
All aircraft this frequency, be advised, information India for Keflavik, wind 290 at 16. Visibility is 10 plus. Sky condition is 1,800 broken. Altimeter is 29.91. QNH 1013.
That notice on our ICUS there has to do with the
traffic, Millennium 12
cross
taking
feeds.
off.
We'll take care of that shortly. It's fine for the moment.
6U2 Delta departure.
Keflavik traffic, Millennium 124, taxiing into position and hold, runway 28 for Dixon departure.
I kept the flaps where they were just to make sure our speed didn't get too high. We're good to start speeding up now, so going to flaps 5. Let's go ahead and bring the autopilot on here. Maybe. There we go. Track hire coming off a little jump. There we go. It's a little jump now, isn't it? This is the cross feeds. We turn these two off, and that should take care of that ICUS message. Give it just a second there and see if it goes away. There it goes. Let's go ahead and bring the flaps to 1.
Millennium 12 heavy. Clear runway.
And flaps can come all the way up now.
Millennium 124 taking off runway 28.
And what are we coming up on here? KF437 is next.
Traffic, Millennium 304 lining up waiting for.
Now we should get our notice that we're at transition altitude here. I don't think it's going to happen. Somehow I'm missing that on. Oh, there we go. I guess I just didn't wait long enough. Usually got to get about 300 feet over that altitude for it to work. So, Keflavik traffic, Millennium 001 heavy, crossing KF437, direct to Olgies, climbing through flight level 850 for 350, Keflavik.
Keflavik traffic, Millennium 124 is clear of the runway.
Alright, so we're looking good here. Landing lights will come off here shortly. And then once that happens, we'll take care of our after takeoff checklist here. Just remember that there'll be lots of space probably where we're not talking. And plenty of space where we are talking, but we're going to record everything non-stop.
Millennium 304
and maybe I'll
heavy,
cut some of it out.
taking off runway 28.
Alright, there's 10,000 feet. Let's go ahead and get all those lights off there. Come on. Boy, that click spot is small on those, isn't it? Alright, looking good there. Speeding up now. Let's go ahead and take care of our after takeoff checklist. And we can jump over here. We can do this one first. So, after takeoff is complete here. Landing gear is up. Flaps are up. We don't need that checklist there. Auto brakes are in the off position. What else we got on here? Landing lights, taxi lights are off. TCAS biasing mode can go to neutral now. Right click that guy one time. And what else we got here? There is no continuous ignition on this one.
Traffic.
And we're looking good to go. So, now the traffic None of the guys are showing up right now.
Cyberlink traffic, Millennium 160 Heavy is checking in at Olds. Going to be continuing on the Paxum 2 Delta departure, passing through flight level 1004370.
So here's Joe right here. Joe's flying a 787, so he's going to climb faster than we are. So he's behind us just a little bit. Oh, he's below us now.
Traffic, Millennium 11 Heavy, lining up on runway 28.
Alright, we're looking good. We still got some guys departing back there. That's the way it works with a group flight. Now, we could do holding position or something to try and group everybody together, but we didn't really discuss or plan on that for this particular flight.
Millennium 130, 3 nautical miles from Olgas, passing flight level 110.
It is so hot in my little office here, it's ridiculous. I had to open the door back up. It just gets crazy hot.
Millennium 014, third runway.
Alright, coming up on KF 239, we'll be making a right turn out to Pixum. And then there was no, I don't think, well, there are some arrivals for Farnborough, but I don't think that we have one in our plan. We're just direct in, so, excuse me. We'll have to see what the weather's doing.
Definitely
I had to take a drink of something there.
11 Heavy, taking off runway 28 on the Pixum departure.
Alright, so things are looking good here, guys. Let's just do some cinematic views here for a little bit. Cloud cover looking nice, doesn't it?
Traffic. These are 4 KF 236 9000.
Traffic, Millennium 11 Heavy, to runway.
There's one of the guys back there. That's probably Joe. See him right there, guys?
Traffic, Millennium 12 Heavy, passing Old. Altitude 180 on the way to 25.
Show you guys something kind of cool here. If you look on the live map on Sim Toolkit Pro, you can see the other guys that are using Sim Toolkit Pro following me here. There's Joe, there's Joachim, and Keflavik traffic, Millennium 001 Heavy crossing Pixum, climbing through flight level 2574350 Keflavik.
Cyberlink traffic. This is Millennium 014, passing August, flight level 18.
To flight level 220, climbing to 350. Effective traffic.
What we'll do is maybe we'll see if we can slow down a little bit when we get up to cruise. We'll just take over the speed and Mach number down just a little bit and see if a couple of the other guys are able to catch up too. Hey guys, so when I get up to 350, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and slide my my Mach speed down a little bit. I'll let you guys know what it is and see if anybody's able to catch up and get a little formation going for a little ways here. You're talking on the MacAir website?
Yes, sir. Yep.
I'm going to pull it up. Take a look.
How's my volume? Is that better? Or?
Yeah, it's definitely better, Pat. Thanks. Oh, you guys don't need to stare at my window there.
Check that before, I guess.
Let me get to the website here and somebody there was really quiet. Let's see. I'm just pulling up the live map for Millennium Aviation here. And, oh yeah, that's good stuff. Coming out of Greenland. Or, I mean, Iceland. Haha, I'm going to show you guys this. You guys will get a kick out of this. Let's see. Let's see if I can show this. I'm not sure if I can. Yeah, there's no way for me to show it without showing everybody's names on here, and I don't have everybody's permission to do that.
Traffic,
there we go.
Millennium 130 have passed Pixum flight level 260 going to 350.
Alright, since this is a video, I can blank this. How cool is that? That's all of us on our group flight there. That's on the Millennium website. Good stuff, right? Seeing us all flying there. So this is going to be me up front, Joe right here. Not sure who's behind him. These guys are a little close, but we're all going to be flying in formation here pretty soon anyway. So
I've
glad
got
you guys
my
will get a kick out of that.
kit open, but for some reason that live map does not show my airplane, but I see 4 others.
You know what I just realized, guys? I'm an idiot. I got so busy with getting all the recording stuff done. It's not showing my aircraft either because I didn't start cars. So yeah, I won't even get credit for the flight. Good times.
Gigabyte traffic.
Done that.
Mach 304 heavy passing Pixum at cruise level 35, flight level 350.
I'll do a manual PIREP is what I'll do. There's Joe. He just took
Gigabyte traffic,
he just sent me a text. He said, just manually submit it.
At flight level 330 for 350, passing Pixum.
Alright, we're just about at our top of climb here, and once we get there, we'll slow it down a little bit.
Cavalry traffic, Millennium 014, passing Pixum, flight level 330, going to 350.
We'll slow it down a little bit and we'll see if a couple of the guys are able to catch up. If we put this on center, so we can't see Joe right now. It's probably, there he is. He's just over 20 nautical miles behind us. We'll leave that. We'll leave it on that view for now. We'll see these guys when they get up close. We might even get some traffic warnings because they'll be pretty close. So. A couple of them guys got up quick. They're nowhere near as heavy as we are. Let's get her leveled off here. We're at 0.845. We're definitely going to bring that down a little bit. Let's just let's set for 840. So we can't come down a whole lot, but let's level off first. It likes the porpoise when it's heavy. There you go, level off there. Let's bring it down.
Yo, this is Jim. You want to check for the boss?
Yeah, I'm reloading the CD. I have a fake program.
Copy. Didn't want to overtake it too fast.
Cyberlink traffic, Millennium 001, heavy, leveling off flight level 350 and slowing to 0.815. That is 0.815. Oh, so they can catch up. Not much else to do right now except check out the views. Now, as the guys get up closer to formation range, you might see some aircraft bouncing around a little bit. It's just one of those things with the FS, with the server we're using. It's not always consistent. We were going to use POSCOM, but not everybody has it yet because it's still in. Just so you know, it is okay for you guys to talk.
I'll try.
Yeah, for some reason everybody got shy.
Don't be scared. It's okay.
Sorry. There you go. You there?
It's nice when I look back.
That's a little better.
Different things.
Yeah, I'm just trying to troubleshoot my aircraft here.
What do you got going on?
For some reason, I can't get up to full speed. I'm not sure if it's because I just completely laden this thing down with fuel before, in order to give us enough of the pattern, or what. But I can't go much higher than 280.
What's your jet level right now?
350, which I guess is probably max end for this aircraft.
Don't forget to check spoilers, upgrades.
Yeah, spoilers are up, brakes are up, my gear is up. That's the first thing I checked was my gear. I was like, I bet you I didn't pull up landing gear, but yep, it's up.
So are you talking about the indicated airspeed or your Mach? What's your Mach number? Your 0.8 something or 7 something number?
Right now I've got the auto airspeed for 0.80.
Okay, so your indicated airspeed is going to show, like, for example, like I am at 0.840 on the Mach, but my indicated airspeed is only 290. So if you're showing 280, then it's possible you're actually going with as fast as you're going to be able to go. You're just looking at indicated airspeed. Because the air is thinner up here, the pitot-static system is not going to read the true airspeed. It's going to read your indicated airspeed.
Right, now where's the indicated airspeed at? Is that what I'm looking at for my, what do you call the
MFD.
Yeah, the MFD. Yeah, that's catching up. It's almost at, it's about 279 now.
Yeah, so as you level off and get a little faster, you will end up, it will balance itself out.
Well, they're talking that out,
you'll
guys.
accelerate as you level off, but it will not read
the ILS
your true airspeed.
It's pretty crazy. So let's go to departure arrivals index.
Yeah, I understood.
We're not flying an actual arrival.
Yeah, I just didn't want to get so far behind everybody.
Z24 approach.
Yeah, Steve, I passed you a while back there.
So we put that in there. It's not. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to have all the way
Jim has had. So I think we're about to stay.
So let's see where we're at here. It should be a discontinuity anyway. There it is at WAD. So then it's got CF24.
I saw you a couple of guys pass me. That's what first indicated that I might have an issue. So, because I thought I was going, you know, when I'm for MacAirs, when I'm registering a flight, if I go above about 320 for this aircraft, I'm going to start getting an overspeed registration in the ACARS. So I try to hold it down around 300, but with this altitude, the most I can do is about 280. Maybe I might be able to push 285.
WAD's not on there. I was just looking at the arrivals over here. So the way this is going to work is there are a bunch of other waypoints on here. Like, they're labeled just as distance. I don't think they're going to go in
Jim,
there.
if it's okay with you, I'll see if I can't catch up just a little bit. Maybe get some photo shots here.
That sounds great.
D26. No, I don't think that's going to work. Let's try D24.5. I think. I don't think this is going to work. And then I think it's an O on there. Let's see if that even shows up.
I'm indicating
Holy cow.
833 Mach.
So
okay, I'm up to 0.87. So
I don't know which waypoint it is. Let's see, is there a lat long listed on here anywhere? There is not. I'm just looking at the approach chart here, trying to see if I can set this up, but I'm not so sure I can. I need a lat long is what I need, and that is not listed anywhere on this approach chart as far as I can see. This approach is pretty crazy. There's a DME arc and then half a racetrack. It does have it does have a couple of waypoints on there, but wow. Okay, let's try this. It doesn't matter which one. That is the right one. So, okay. So we'll leave that there for the moment. We need, prior to that, we have Delta 261 Quebec. Delta 261 Quebec, and that'll come before that. And I'm going to assume it's this one here.
Terry, are you flying the 787 today?
And then prior to that, actually, no, that's the right one. And then so it's from there to Delta. So these two connect. And then after Delta 2450 is
Mirage 003 Heavy crossing Pixum. Flight
XUB.
Flight B50
UB. Boy, my voice is just like going right now, isn't it? There we go. There's Vexib. And then after Vexib is Delta 236 Delta. So Delta 236 Delta. There we go. It's looking good. And then after that is FF24. And it's got it as CF24 on here. So let's connect that for the moment. Now that'll be a little tight for us in this big aircraft. So the back course is 056 degrees. So if we go CF24, 056, and I want to give us 5 miles there, so we'll go /5. That just gives us a little wiggle room. You see how that put that waypoint there? All right, and then we'll connect those.
Captain Mac, are you still at 0.815?
That is correct, sir. My ground speed is 488. So you can see.
I bumped it up to 0.86 to see if I could catch up with you guys.
Roger.
Right now my 512.
Well, if you're at 350, you'll know when you catch me because you'll see me. Sorry, guys. So because the way that's set up, you can see that's not going to work for us quite yet. So erase that, and here's what we're going to do instead.
Millennium 130, level up at level 350.
So we're going to go from Delta 236 Delta. We'll go 056. And let's go an additional 10
I can see both you and
10 nautical
Joe
miles.
on my traffic radar.
So that'll come after this one. So we want that before CF24. There we go. You see that? And then from there, we'll go CF24 056. And it should be 10 nautical miles also. I gotta put the slash in there. 10. And yeah, that's a little far. So let's erase that. See, this is what you gotta do when you're doing this. Is you gotta kind of put them in there and see how they go. Let's do it at 8 nautical miles. I think that'll be good. We'll put that one right there, and then we'll go CF24 056. My voice is going out. /8. Put that one right there, and that'll be a good connection. And then we connect the two like that. And that should swing us around nicely.
Oh, you want to give me your pause again?
There's a cough in your face there, huh? I don't know what's up with my throat today. But anyway, if we execute that, what you'll see now, so there we go. So that's not quite the right racetrack there. But it's going to work out fine for us. It should give us enough maneuvering space to get around here. So I'm just going to let the guys know what I did here.
Hey guys, I'm looking at traffic at Farnborough. Looks like wind is 260 at 9 knots, broken at 3,000, view at 2100. So it looks like it's probably going to be runway 24 for us. Anybody else got a different numbers?
Actually, I have the same thing. I was just about to tell you guys. So if you look at the ILS 24 approach for Farnborough, it's actually a pretty complicated approach. And when you put it into your FMC, at least in the PMDG 747, it did not put in all the waypoints. So take the time to put in the additional waypoints starting from WOD. You'll have to zoom in because it just shows the distance markers, but when you zoom in, you'll see in brackets waypoints that look a little strange, like Delta 261 Quebec. That is the waypoint. So put in 261 Quebec, 245 Oscar, VEXUB needs to be put in there, and then because I'm so heavy, making that short turn to finals is not going to work real well for me. So I added an additional 8 miles on the downwind, and then turn back for final on that. So just wanted to let you guys all know what I did there. So when we get a little closer, we can separate out a little better.
Okay, yeah, it's got some crazy turns in there for the ILS approach on runway 24. The transition for CPT is the only one I show coming from our direction.
Yeah, I didn't even go with an arrival on this one. I went with just the approach. So straight off our last waypoint of WOD, Whiskey Oscar Delta, and then I just put in the waypoints for that dashed approach line that you see on the approach chart.
Okay, yeah, that would be much better.
Alright, so for you guys, since we've been talking about it here, let's take a look at our approach here. ATIS is going to be on 28.405, London information on 24.6.
The CPT transition actually has you do 2 loops.
Well, you can use VEXUB as a holding point. If you hold it VEXUB and you guys stack there, then that'll set you up nicely to complete the approach one after another. Anyway, moving on here, Farnborough radar 34.355, tower on 22.780. Localizer frequency is 111.55 with a final approach course of 242 degrees. Decision altitude
See, Tom
is
sneaking
2,000
up on
feet.
me.
I'm
How
going to
you
mute
doing?
them real quick.
Well, I
Let me
am
just go over
not
here.
too-
There we go. And that way I can finish this approach briefing here. I'm sorry, glide slope intercept is 2,000 feet, decision altitude is 419 feet, airport elevation at 238 feet. We do have some minimum safe altitudes, 2,300 feet over here, 2,200 here, and 2,100 here. And then you can see this is what I just put into the flight plan there, but I extended this out beyond OCK. I probably could have just gone direct to OCK, it would have made more sense. In fact, I might change that up. We'll see. I'll probably just leave it as it is because it's a pain in the butt. But continuing out across OCK a few extra miles and then circling back here. So at 4.7, which is right here, we want to be at 2,000 feet. So we'll keep that in mind, and we should intercept the glide slope there. Happy lights on the left-hand side, and ILS decision altitude again 419 feet. So there's your approach briefing. I'll unmute these guys here. And come back over here. So there you have it. You saw how I set that up in there. That's how you can add custom waypoints. We could have just gone direct to OCK and then maybe extended out a little bit from that. But I've already put them in there, and I think we're probably good to go. So let's see here. We got anybody coming up on us yet?
Looks like I will
Somebody
set
right
up
behind us.
on that approach.
Actually, let's go to this view here.
So I will do that with the VR.
I'm not seeing him yet. Let's go back in here and bring that down a little. Yeah, he's back. Well, he's a little over 5 miles. That's why. So that's probably Joe right there, just a little over 5 nautical miles behind us. Looks like you're about 5 nautical miles behind me there, Joe.
For the arrival, if we use the Charlie Papa Tango 1 Victor, that will bring us in basically the same way as what you were describing with the loss of communications procedure into the ILS. So if we keep it simple and just have everybody use that arrival, then we can backfill VEXIV from VEXIV back to DIXIB with stacking or holding procedures if we're too close to each other, and then from VEXIV, each pilot at pilot discretion will vector themselves to the ILS depending on if they're heavy or not, because the heavies are going to have to extend that out a little bit.
Okay, yeah, if you guys want to do that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to, excuse me, I'm having a hard time clearing my throat today. I'm going to stick with what I've got set in here because I already briefed it anyway. And that'll give me an opportunity to get down a little earlier than everybody else anyway, because I'd like to try and record your guys' landing. So keep that in mind when you land. If you slam it on the ground, it's going to be all over YouTube, boys.
Good to know. Thanks.
That's fun.
There you go.
Yeah, no pressure, right?
Get some landing gears.
Yeah, but be ready to get some spare parts.
Well, Pat's good to go because Pat will apologize before he lands anyway.
Oh, no, you know it. I'll have a big flag saying sorry, just flying behind you. So.
You know what? You're gonna fly the white flag out the window as you land, eh?
Hey, Pat, I think Captain Mac just jinxed my landing rate.
Yeah, there you go. So somebody else needs to do it, right?
All you have to do is just talk to Jim and he'll give you the cheats.
There you go, yeah.
Hey, all I know is when I greased in my 747 this morning into Schiphol, I greased it at like -119 or something. So, you know, no pressure, guys. The boss is watching. And then everybody goes quiet. Look at that. Don't be scared, guys. I might demote you, but other than that, you'll still be part of the airline.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well, we can't make the boss look bad by doing a better landing than the boss.
You don't want to altitude the bomb.
All right, that's it. I'm calling it landing competition. All right. So everybody's got to announce their landing rate once they land. All right. So whether you get the landing rate from STKP or you get it from MacAir's, everybody's got to announce their landing rate. No liars either. Keep it clean, boys.
Highest possible.
Yeah, as high as possible without going over the max.
Does it count if you touch down at the far end of the runway?
Yeah, you just might not be able to stop.
So I've had some where I've tried to float and move just right. Next thing you know, I'm touching down on the touch pads at the far end. It's like, I've actually been way back there.
So I got Joe maneuvering in here, and his landing gear is showing up as down.
As long as you stop on the runway.
Yeah, exactly. No using the catchments at the end.
Do we need to put a net out for you, Pat?
No, you're not racing, you're racing. 8,000.
It's a short runway too. It's only 8,000 feet, so like I'm really heavy.
Yeah, there you go. No floating.
Yeah.
Put her down.
What is it? It shows a. So it says a stopway on there. Is this a displaced threshold on this runway? I'm looking at the ground chart and it shows a 1,936 foot stopway is what it's called. It's a displaced threshold. So not only is the runway super short, but it's a displaced threshold. Now the good news is there's a stopway on the other end too. So there's actually more room for landing because there's a displaced threshold on both ends. Still going to be fun though. And don't forget, boys, I want to hear those landing rates.
I have a problem with my mic. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you. A little quiet, but I can hear you.
Ah, darn it. I was hoping it would work with my landing rates.
Yeah, exactly. Just have to put on the. There you go. That was your right. Yep.
Take a little bit of time to do it here. What do you got on the speed there, Cap?
I am at 0.815.
Tom's doing circles around me. Just a roll.
It's funny because you show up with your gear down there, Joe.
You know, I actually confirmed to make sure that they were up.
Oh yeah, I know. It's the FS whatever this thing is called, the server we're using. It always does that.
So, this is Quality Win 787. It's pretty smart. It wouldn't let me get close to you and actually dive out of the way because I got too close.
Ah, no
without
kidding.
turning TCAS off. Yeah, it did it automatically.
Try get as close as you can off the wing at least.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
That's funny that it did that. It's like I don't think so.
And then when I get directly behind you, I get the wind charge on.
Oh yeah, I'd be kicking it off pretty early too. You guys can just see him back there, and he's got his landing gear down, but you guys heard him, he confirmed that it's up, so. I'm surprised we're not getting traffic warnings. I mean, we see that he's on there, it shows traffic, but it's not yelling at us.
Getting some good shots, Tom.
Oh, forward to the top of the sentence. Now we got a ride at 712 miles. I got the white picking up some
This little turn coming up ahead, I may try to shave a little of this off, see if that'll help you catch up to the pack a little.
I tell you what, clearing my throat today is kind of poor. I don't get it. Too much talking, I guess. Ah, there he is right there. Check it out. Good stuff. Yeah, looking good off the wing there, Joe. Except for your landing gear being down. Hey. So Say sorry, Pat.
Nope, just gonna keep all that for the end. There you go.
I'm gonna save it for that high landing rate. That's
all of
a
a
good
sudden my A car is gonna shut down at the end if it's not a good landing rate by accident, I guess.
Oh, is that a fact?
Like mine yesterday.
Yeah, there you go.
I saw somebody in one of the chat rooms talking about some type of landing cheat. I said, no, that wouldn't happen. My guy would never do that.
Oh man,
It's a random it's run like the number between 1 and 20.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of an inside joke with him there. So we were doing some group flying on a tour down with South America, right? In the Dash 8, and he would just keep on greasing the landing. So the only thing we can surmise is that he was just greasing. Yeah, or he was just cheating.
And who was this that was greasing him?
that would
Jim.
be me.
Alrighty, Jim. I expect no more than double digits from you on this one.
Oh, that was a Dash 8. Come on.
What are you flying, Jim?
This is a 777.
Oh yeah, double digits, all the way.
I have an Oculus Rift that my son got me. That I'll use that during takeoff and landing. So it kind of gives me a little bit of an edge, but I wouldn't call it cheating.
How does your sim run with that Oculus Rift? 'Cause I tried it a few years back and it was so choppy it gave me motion sickness.
I have recently been able to get a really good high-end computer, and it's smooth, and the interior looks beautiful in the 777, especially the 300 with the 4K resolution.
Oh yeah. I wonder how that would work for a video, because I still have that Oculus Rift, and this system I got now is a lot better than the last one, so I might be able to set that up, and I mean, the kids usually use it, but set that thing up and see if I can record videos with it. Because it is really cool when you're sitting inside the aircraft like that.
Oh yeah.
Give it a try.
Yeah, for sure. I think that obviously the experience is not going to transfer to the actual YouTube video, I guess. So, but yeah, for you it probably gives you a more enjoyable, I guess.
If you have a Rift, you should be able to watch it. But if you don't have one, I don't know how that would turn out.
Yeah, there's I might have to do it through OBS. I remember watching a video sometime back about a guy who would do live streams while he was using VR. He had to set up OBS a certain way so that the view looked the view looked normal to those viewing it. So I know there's a way to do it. I just have to, I'll have to take the opportunity to figure it out. But it is definitely really cool to have the immersion that you get from having that Oculus Rift on that VR. It's pretty neat.
Cap, what I'll do for you is I'll reach out to a couple buddies that race iRacing, and they stream whatever the Oculus is doing, and I'll ask them how they do it and then relay that info.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool, man. I'd appreciate that. While you guys are at it, if you guys want to buy me one of the new Oculus Rifts, you know.
Actually, my check.
What's that?
Check.
Yeah, no kidding. I was actually looking at it the other day because the one that I have, my kids use it quite a bit, so it's upstairs. And I thought, well, I could easily bring it downstairs, but I think I'd rather just get another one for me so that they can keep using that one. So I started looking into it, and you can't even buy one right now. And I think it has to do with all this stuff going on in the world. They're not, I don't know if they're just not producing them or what.
Same problem with our throttle stuff.
Oh man, I tell you what, and I cannot wait until that honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant finally comes out. That will be something to see. Make it a turn here, Joe, in case you didn't get it.
We're racing you to the front of the line.
Say that again, Derek.
I'm going to race you to the front of the line for those throttles.
Good luck. I already contacted them about possible promotional deal.
Alright. There, don't you?
I mean, you got to use what you got, right? That's what they say.
Sure. I'll do the same thing, I guess.
Looking at a nice view here right now in the sim. I got Joe off my left wing. Just finishing the turn at that last waypoint.
And I cut the corner, so I see if I can catch up with you.
So I got it zoomed out just about as far as I can. The only one I can see right now is roll still. See how his aircraft's bouncing around a little bit, you guys? That's what I was talking about. You don't really see that when you use Cosmon. So I wish we'd have been able to use that today, but at least it's not too bad. I've seen it where it's like bouncing back, and I think we've done some live streams in the past where you guys saw that as well, where the aircraft's just bouncing, 300-400 feet at a time, up, down, back, forth, and it's just really difficult to watch because, it just makes your eyes hurt. You can see Joe trying to slide in nice and tight there. Let's see how close it lets him get before it makes him dive away.
Shots to the screenshot page.
There we go. That looks pretty good.
Awesome. Looking at it right now.
Let's go up.
Let's take a look at the screenshots here.
I threw up several.
Oh man, you guys
myself.
got it's dark for you guys, huh?
Well, it's dark for me, not for Tom.
Okay, yeah, I'm in full daylight, so. Here's a shot uploading just before Joe decided to fly through my airplane.
That's pretty cool.
All good.
Yeah, Joe's gear's down as usual.
Yeah, that guy just needs to learn to start raising the landing gear when he takes off.
I like that all the time.
You notice my gear's up, Joe. That's how we usually do business.
Yeah,
it really just comes down to cost effectiveness, Joe, right? So we want to make money at this airline, and we do that by saving fuel, okay?
As long as you put the A at the end, you're good, right?
Yeah, sorry, Pat, eh?
Yeah, you're stealing my line, sir. What's going on?
I'm trying to blend in.
Yeah.
So what I'm fighting is, and again I apologize for running into you, but I'm fighting a crosswind of 44 knots. So every correction I'm making is exacerbated.
That's always fun.
Yeah, so it's almost a direct crosswind now.
Yeah, I got the same crosswind, 274 at 44 knots.
Yep. So, but in order to make the corrections to follow you, I have to. Yeah, all the numbers are off.
Yeah, you have to calculate the difference between the desired heading and the crosswind. Remember that. I was really saddened to see the recent news that Boeing has completely stopped production of 747s. It's like, it's not just the queen of the skies, it's probably one of the greatest airplanes ever made.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That was sad to hear. I've got a question for Joe. I don't mean to be difficult, but I'm looking through the approach plates, and I'm not seeing the waypoints that you mentioned.
It's 10-2 Bravo, Charlie Papa Tango, RNAV arrival.
Jim, are you looking at the approach or the arrival?
Let's see. Right now, I'm looking at approaches, and let's see. I see. It's not a.
Here, I'm gonna share it in the chat.
Okay. Okay, I'm looking at the arrivals now.
I published it in the lounge text chat.
All right, got it now. The approach plates that I got are the ones that we got through MacAir, through the Discord, and I'm not seeing anything that matches what you have here.
Oh, what he just sent you was the arrival, not the approach, correct?
Yeah, it's the arrival. Yeah, the arrival. Well, they don't have, the arrivals aren't like this either.
Yeah, so I've got that arrival as well. Do you have Navigram?
Negative.
Well, see, there's the problem right
these
there.
are Lido charts.
Okay, so yeah, your Lido charts are probably going to be a little different. But you should still have the same chart with the same waypoints. It's just going to look a little different.
Completely different waypoints. You got Bilney, but then you have Kumil, Kathy, Absav, Rudmo, SLP. Then you have the CAP,
Hey Jim, sorry to interrupt you. Do you have Sim Toolkit Pro?
Yes.
Okay, if you go to your flight summary on Sim Toolkit Pro and click on arrival charts, you will see the top, select stars, and then the top one is the same one that Joe posted, and it's got the proper waypoints on it.
Alright, I'll take a look.
Okay, not that it matters, but I already flew this leg through the destination of the month in this plane, and I used the approach that's on this PMDG 747, and it seemed like it was pretty straight in. There was a lot of waypoints that were listed on the map that were not listed on the actual plan on the FMC, but it took me pretty much straight in with a slight turn to the right. I didn't seem to have too much of a problem with it. But it's nothing weird or wild like you guys were talking about.
Yeah, so I wasn't paying attention when I was looking at the approach plate, and I put in the waypoints for the lost comms approach, so that's why I've got such a crazy approach going on. But I'm going to fly it anyway because why the heck not, right?
Why not?
Challenge.
Challenge accepted. Hold my beer. Oh wait, you can't say beer on here. Oh, I'm just
Well,
Got to say Molson.
all right. I'm looking in Sim Toolkit Pro, and for runway 24, there is an ILS for 24 and an L for 24.
Okay, hold on. What we're talking about right now is the arrival chart. So you're in the arrival chart section, right?
It is grayed out. I have nothing to add.
Okay, do you have your flight plan in Sim Toolkit Pro?
I do.
And on your flight summary section, hold on a second.
Might be because he doesn't have Navigraph.
No, because what I'm talking about is not, it's not a Navigraph chart. So, Jim, you're on flight summary right now, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, look all the way up top. It should say flight summary, departure charts, arrival charts, and alternate diversion charts. Do you see that?
Negative.
Okay, what version of Sim Toolkit Pro are you on?
0.5, 0.83.
Yeah, it's up on 0.69 now. That's why it's in the new version once he hit 0.6. So what you could do if you wanted is you could close out your Sim Toolkit Pro while you're flying, and if your system you said is really good, so go to the Sim Toolkit Pro website and click the download 100% free button, download the latest version, and then run it before deleting the old version. Run the new one. It'll automatically transfer your data, restart your flight, and then you'll have the charts. Hey, like them apples?
I think I might. I'll just follow somebody, and then I'll get those after the flight. I don't want to. My connection, my computer's great. My connection is not.
Ah, see, when we redid our internet here, I made sure they ran a hard line into my little office so that I get a good connection, because I want to start doing live streams again. So 550 miles to go. Might as well.
Still at 0.815, Michael?
Yep, still 0.815. I have not increased my speed. I'm waiting for all of you slow guys to catch up.
Okay, I'm 4.3 behind you now, and I'm gonna wait till I get closer and then slow down.
Can you slow down anymore, Captain?
What's that?
Can you slow down anymore?
I can slow down a little more. You guys want me to slow down a little more? I mean, we still got 550 miles to go. You tell me. You need me to slow down more? Or you think you can catch up?
Well, that's true. I guess we do have a good long leg there over the spine of the country. I was just looking at those two upcoming waypoints where we're going to be doing a lot of turning. I didn't think we'd catch up to you by then. Thought it'd make it harder for a picture.
Well, it's not the end of the world if we don't get a picture with everybody. That's all right. I just figured we'd give it a shot. Where'd you go, Joe?
Below by 500, directly behind me. Here's 6 o'clock.
Oh, there you are. I see you now. And then I see Jerry coming up a little above you and off to your left.
Yeah, where I screwed up was, like I said, we made that turn to the right, which puts that crosswind directly over the the right wing, and I didn't realize I wasn't paying attention at the wind, so I was just focused on looking at you. So when I switched the heading, it was way off.
To make the editing process easier. But this one I've just left the recording going. So what I'll probably have to do is I'll go in any areas where there's a lot of blank space, I'll probably trim those out and try and keep everything in with our conversations and stuff like that, so that we get the full feel of the group flight instead of just a Captain Mac flight. So I'm guessing with the flight total flight time being about 3 hours, and us kicking it off 15-20 minutes early, plus my intro. Depending on how much blank space is in there, we're probably looking at about a 2.5, 3 hour video. So I'll take a close look at it when it comes time to upload, and I may trim out a lot of some of this conversation here, just to trim it down a little bit more, so that it's not too long. Because I've noticed when they get real long like that, people just don't watch them as much. They'll watch a live stream for, you know, 6-7 hours, but if it's a video, a lot of times they'll skip over it when it's that long.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that. I hold my attention for about 30 minutes or so on a video, unless there's a lot going on. It's just visuals, like you're looking out the windows. I do have a question though. How long does it take you to edit? How many hours does it take you to edit?
So that really depends on the video. So because I've been doing this for quite a while now, a typical flight, you know, where I just I load in, I do my intro, start up the aircraft, all of that good stuff. I can edit that in about 45 minutes because I like to take my time, especially on the elevator music portion. I like to make sure those look good. So probably about 45 minutes to edit, and then depending on the total length of the video, anywhere from another 30 minutes to an hour to render the video in HD. However, when I do videos like a full flight tutorial like I did the A330 recently, editing for those, because every little section needs to be accounted for it and labeled with titles and all that, that takes probably about 2 hours. And then I'm working on another series of videos right now. Joe's kind of helped me out with it actually. I have to redo one, and I was pissed off at Joe yesterday about this. Because I showed him a video, and he's like, well, you should maybe do it this, that, you know, and it has to do with instructional stuff. So I know Joe's right about it, but it took me 6 hours to edit that video. So it just really depends on what the content is and what the desired outcome is.
Look behind you, Captain Mac.
Yeah, I saw you back there. I got some cinematic views going, and I see you creeping up on us. It's looking good.
About a 1.2 miles behind you, and to the left of Joe.
Nice, good stuff.
And I'm set on 0.815 now.
Perfect. Did I answer your question, Tom? Was that Tom that asked?
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, I was always curious because, you know, I think that's I try to do community family videos. Just, I don't know, just things in action right now. Right? I have a really hard time trying to do that. Deciding what to try to keep. Seems like it takes me forever sometimes.
Yeah, one of the things that I learned over the years, first of all, you gotta have a good video editor. Try to use like the Microsoft Windows editor or something. Those are really tough to use. I use Cyberlink, it's called PowerDirector, and I like it a lot. But another thing that really helps is when I'm recording videos, during the recording portion, first of all, I break everything up into sections, and I just use the checklist as my breakpoints, right? So when I get done with all the pre-flight stuff, I pause my recording from there, and then I'll record the next section, and I label them so that when I put them in my video editor, they're all lined up in order. And then it's just it's a little bit of editing. But I've also learned over the years that you need to leave blank spaces, right? So like before and after each clip is recorded, I need to leave, you know, 5 to 10 seconds of blank recording, and that allows me to build in my transitions. And you just trim off what you don't need when it's time to do the editing. So that's really what takes a lot of the editing time, and then putting in the watermarks, things like that. My intro video is a pre-edited, already saved video, so that just kind of gets thrown in there, things like that. But yeah, when you put it all together, like it's anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes for a standard video. Hey, Jerry, so we're kind of set up in our cruise here now. You want to take a few minutes and just talk about Mirage, even though I got the name wrong at the beginning? Just tell us a little bit about Mirage and how it's connected with MacAir and so on. And just note that your microphone volume is just a little low, so you might need to speak up just a bit.
Hey, Mirage Executive Charters started out in March of 2012, and it's been growing ever since. We have pretty much all of the real common airplanes available for use, but the biggest thing about us is that we allow pilots to fly any airplane they want to fly on any route, as long as the airplane they have has the range for the route and can manage the runway links. So it makes it really flexible. We have a lot of tours there, and we have charter ops also, so you can create your own charters if you don't see one in the schedule that you want to use. When MacAir started, we joined as a partner VA with MacAir, so that we got both together, and we have a certain number of pilots that choose to be in both VAs, and so that works out really well for those people. Quite a few of those are here today on this flight. So it's been a really good time, and we've got a lot of really good admins that take care of things, and so it's been going really good.
Well, and our entire charter system over at MacAir is based off of Mirage Executive Charter System. So I know that you and we've been friends for years, and I thought it was great. You know, you came over here to MacAir with us as a plank owner when we first started this airline. And I just think that the way we've merged the two to work together, I think is really cool. And yeah, I just like the setup, man. And I love having you around, and I love having you as a friend. So,
well, thanks. It's been really good having the two together, and you know, we share a lot of stuff. We share some tours, and we share other things, and we share some of the admins, and so it works out really well for both of us, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I think one of the coolest aspects about our charter division and Mirage Executive Charters is the ability, like you said, to create a flight. You know, so if you want to fly, say what we're doing right now, and this flight doesn't exist anywhere within the schedules, well, it doesn't mean you can't fly it for the VA. You just create the flight in the charter division, or if you're over with Mirage, you create it with them over there, and you're able to just fly that flight and still get credit for it. That's a feature that I always really liked about Mirage, and I'm really glad we were able to bring it over here as well.
So now I ended up off your right.
Yeah, that's alright. We don't have to have any type of perfect formation here. We're just tighten it up a little just so we can see all the aircraft as much as we can. I'm just running cinematic views right now anyway, so sometimes you see your guys' aircraft and sometimes you don't.
Got questions, Steve?
Whoever's talking, I barely hear you looking at the nose.
It's Terry, and apparently his joint FS has got him showing him going in a different direction than the rest of us.
That's not good. Yeah, I can hear you just a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know why it's so quiet. It was fine earlier. definitely a little bit better.
Sorry. So yeah, I'm part of play and looking at the joint, it says distance over the 1 hour we've been flying keeps increasing. You guys are like 600 nautical miles. It makes no sense.
Are you flying in the wrong direction?
I don't think so. I just made a landfall in Scotland, so I looked at the MacAir webpage to see the live map, and I'm within 50 nautical miles of here. So I don't know what's that.
That's
I
really
would
weird.
just refresh it because I don't see that you're that far away.
I don't even see you on the aircraft list right
Let
now,
me disconnect and reconnect.
if that helps any.
That's interesting because I show him in the rear, but he's trailing behind me. He's going the right direction.
Yeah, he probably just had a loss of connection on his end, and it's still showing him at that one spot. It's not updating. It's not updating yet. Now I just lost it. So
Yeah, I disconnected and reconnected. Yeah, that makes sense. I was probably distant from Port Shepherd.
I would just like to note for the record that originally Joe was going to fly a 747-8 with me, but he got scared because he didn't think he could land it, so that's why he's flying a 787.
Is that it?
Ouch, ouch.
So for the record, interwebs, YouTube, I decided to fly the 7.8 to add some priority to our aircraft list because there were going to be more than one 7.4 in the roster.
That's not the way I heard it, but, you know, that's
Well,
what you want to go
appreciate
with.
I'm flying the 787 as well.
So we got good spacing between us. Now we just have to fight it out.
Who, you and I?
Yeah.
Hey, you're my leader. You've been my leader the whole time. So there's going to be no fighting.
Oh, no. I'm just the guy that happened to be out front.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Stuck his head out too soon.
Got it.
That's what happens.
Terry, did that catch you up some?
No, it's really weird because it shows the simulator button green, like if I'm connected, then it complained that there was no model, and when I tried to do a scan for model, it says you're not connected.
Tester du starta i hållprogram?
Have they restarted all?
Yeah, I tried that 2 or 3 times. It's okay. I think I'm roughly where Joachim is.
I need a nap. Just thought I'd share that with you guys.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that needs those.
Captain
Yeah.
Matt.
Are you getting lightning down in those clouds below us?
I was just about to hop on the radio and say here at in about probably about 450 miles or so, we're going to be encountering some thunderstorms.
And they're not building for me yet.
There are a few of them right now, but I'm seeing a lot of lightning down there.
Looks like our destination is quite good weather. Only clouds, a few. So it will clear up a bit.
Hopefully.
I wish England would get their weather fixed.
Yeah, there you go.
Mine's broken at 2600.
Never mind.
So I'm showing a few clouds at 21, broken at 26, 1015 on the altimeter, and alrighty folks, as you can see, we're a little over 150 miles from top of descent here. We still have a little bit of work to do before we get ready to head on down. Now, we did take a look at our approach briefing already, and based on that, we're going to set our altitude initially to 3,000 feet because that's where we need to be at VEXIB, and then when we leave VEXIB, we'll go down to 2,000 feet. Hopefully I won't forget and mess that up. Got a couple other things we need to do here. Coming down here, we've already put in the arrival, and well, there is no arrival for us, although some of the guys are using an arrival. But we have already put in the approach procedure. What we need to do down here is grab the initial reference page and flaps 30, 160 knots. It might be just a little less than that on the speed. We'll adjust it if we need to. And let's just make sure on our legs page, you can see we still got a little ways to go. At WOD, we're at about 14,000-ish. VEXIB. So VEXIB, we need to. So this is going to change. Watch this. So at VEXIB, we need to be. See, that's crazy the way they got that set up. So we're mandatory 3,000 feet at VEXIB. So put /3,000, and this is going to change our. Watch our top of descent here. Watch this. So we're 152. Now we're going to change this. Execute. Now watch. That knocked 20 nautical miles off of it there. So just something to keep in mind there. And then you can see, so we're going to stay at 3,000, I think, until we round the corner. So let's see, QO, and then it's D, and then this is the one that we put in there, right? Yep, both of these are the ones we put in there. So those altitudes will be fine. I don't mind it descending a little after we cross VEXIB. The main thing is that we're at CF24, which is our glide slope intercept. We need to be at 2,000, so not 2,000 at or above. So we need to change that one as well. Solid 2,000 right there. And then glide slope intercept will take care of anything after that. Also want to note that our missed approach altitude is 2,000 feet, so having that set on the MCP will work out nicely for us. Go back to the start of the legs page here if it'll let us. There we go. Jump back up here, and so we can go ahead and adjust this altitude. Since we are not on an actual arrival, we're not going to really have any altitude restrictions, so we're going to just bring this on down to 3,000 feet. And like I said, as we're getting ready to cross over VEXIB, we'll change that down to 2,000 feet, and then we'll hold that solid. Bring this all the way down. There we go, 3,000 feet. And I don't think there's anything else we need to worry about. We're just waiting on the start of the descent now, which will happen here shortly. You know what? I did want to note one other thing here. What is transition altitude? 6,000 feet. So it was 7,000 before. It's 6,000 here, and so here again, it should be on this page, right? But it's not. Where's my transition altitude? Is it on the forecast page? Maybe that's what it was. It is. It's the forecast page. That is why. So 6,000. That's why I couldn't figure it out in the last video I was doing. So 6,000, and then. We don't want to press descent. Okay, so VNAV. So transition altitude will now be at 6,000 feet. And then I want to get the forecast. No comm. Really? Why is there no data link? Alright, well it is what it is. So we're now 100 nautical miles from top of descent. And I have remembered how to set my transition levels. So pop these guys back on over here.
It is possible that we should have some internet or power issues with this storm.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, really.
Feel your pain. That's life in Florida too.
Alright guys, I was just taking care of my descent brief real quick. Just so you guys know, I'm now at 95 nautical miles from top of descent. That has to do with a change I made for an altitude restriction on the approach. So I may be descending a little bit before you guys since you're flying that arrival and I'm not, but that'll probably work out good anyway.
Copy.
Well, we didn't get everybody up in formation, but still, it's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and blame Pat for that anyway. So if you guys just want to jump on board with that, we can all blame the Canadian.
Way to go, Pat.
That sounds good.
I'm blaming Pat for my FPS.
Thanks, buddy.
There you go.
Yeah, way to go, Pat.
So, everybody's done? Hey, I'm sorry, guys. There you go. I'm sorry. Oh, Jerry, go. Sorry.
Blaming you too.
You have broad shoulders, Pat.
There you go.
Aye.
Okay, it's just breaking my back now. I need some Advil after this.
Yeah, you'll pull through.
Oh yeah.
I need a new chair. This one's terrible. So what you're trying to say, Joe, is that the weather's pretty nasty around your house right now?
Yeah, just before you came back, I had just let everybody know that got a severe thunderstorm warning for that cell that I just posted, and I may disappear.
Ah, gotcha. Well, in the interim, boys, it is time for the in-flight meal service, delivered by my amazing wife. We will be having a quarter pounder from McDonald's, along with a McDouble and a large fry. We'll wash it down with a delicious Sprite. I hope you're all jealous.
I just had homemade buffalo chicken.
I was hoping for a chocolate shake with that.
I considered getting a shake, but I just didn't want to.
Oh, that's really pretty.
That's good stuff, boys. I tell you what.
Oh, that's pretty nasty right there, Joe.
Really ugly.
Yikes.
I'm guessing that you have traffic advisory if you not turn it off.
Hey, so we're getting close to the top of the descent here, and I think it's a good opportunity for our COO to take a little time and tell us a little bit more about MacAir, so that anybody watching knows what we're all about and what they can expect if they come over here to fly with us. Joe, take it away, buddy.
Thanks, Cap. I appreciate it. So as Cap said, Joe, the COO, Chief of Operations for MacAir. And the one thing that I want to make sure that everybody understands about MacAir is that the choice of what you want to do and how you want to fly your sim aviation career is yours with MacAir. So we have a number of different divisions that you are able to choose from at MacAir that will suit just about every pilot that exists. We have the open division, which allows a pilot to jump from day one into whatever aircraft they want to fly and fly a real world route from GA all the way up to the heavies that you see we're flying today. We have a charter division, which is essentially the same thing, but it allows you to create a flight using any aircraft and any destination as long as it's within our aircraft substitution guidelines, you are able to use that aircraft to whatever destination you pick. We have a cargo division, which is based off of real-world cargo flights, cargo-oriented flights. We have the historical division, which is reserved for our legacy aircraft, which many of the flights there also mimic real-world schedules from the era that the aircraft would have flown in. And then lastly, we have the professional division. The professional division is quite unique in a where it does follow the traditional virtual airline structured path, where you start out as a GA pilot, working your way to commercial and working your way up through the airframes accordingly. But here at MacAir, we have our own flight instructors that will grade you and do check rides with you as you progress through. So when you're completed your private pilot section, you will do a check ride in order to move on to your IFR and all the way up through ATP. The check rides are based off of real-world procedures, real-world checklist items, or check ride items that would be done during the flight. So it brings the options full circle when it comes to what you can do with MacAir. We do group flights weekly. The group flights are done with our, as mentioned before, with our sister airline, Mirage. And we have an extensive library of tours that you can choose from that cover all of the divisions, all types of aircraft, and all around the world. So we truly have options for every pilot here at MacAir.
You know, I think that's probably one of the most important things about MacAir is that, you know, if you're the kind of guy or the kind of pilot who likes to just jump in and fly whatever, you can do that with us. If you want something that's really structured, that's going to force you to really dig into what aviation is all about and prepare yourself for each level, we've got that too. So, you know, we've got everything across the spectrum, and if you like to fly something like the old Constellation or something like that, we've got routes for it. So you're not going to find that at a single airline anywhere else, and that's one of the things that makes us really fantastic.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of something we take pride in. We are the staff and the members, the pilots, have a very open line, an open line of communication. A lot of the content that is added is from recommendations and discussions with our members. We make sure that every quarter we have a open forum style meeting between the executive staff, the staff, and the members, so that every person that is a member of MacAir has a voice. They have an opinion, and the opinion matters. And change is something we are not afraid of. We will discuss it, we will bring it, put it on the table, and if it works for everybody and it's a positive change, then we will absolutely entertain it.
Yeah, those are definitely some great points, Joe. And I do just want to say that, as I finish stuffing my face with a hamburger here, we've got a lot of staff members in our group flight right now. And I'll tell you what, guys, the guys that have been running things here at MacAir, Joe and Jerry, Steve, Tom, actually I don't think Tom's with the staff, but you know, just all the staff members in general have just been absolutely fantastic over at MacAir. They'll look out for you. They'll help you out with whatever you need help with, you know, and they're really active and always coming up with new ideas and you know, new tours, new challenges, you know, these group flights, all kinds of stuff. It's just a great group of guys over here, and I really want you guys to know how much I appreciate everything that you guys do over at the airline. Thank you very much.
Well, Cap, on behalf of the staff, we thank you for the inspiration to do what we do. You know, MacAir was founded by you, and quite honestly, the standard that you set the morals you placed into what this airline was is what really fueled the passion to keep it running throughout its kind of up and down history. But I say right now we're probably at the best we've ever been, and we're continuing to grow. So really, on behalf of the staff and the members, thank you for what you've done with your channel and what you've done for the airline in teaching us and in providing that standard for us to meet.
Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that very much, and I really do appreciate all you guys. You guys have been fantastic. You guys are a great group of guys and a great group of friends. Even you, Pat. Love you guys, man.
There you go. Thank you.
How did you get to be the punching bag today?
Yeah.
I don't know. Must be the accent, I guess.
Special attention, Pat.
I think I've been picking on Pat since the first day I met him.
Probably, yeah. But that's alright. It's part of the fun, like I said before, right? So there you go.
Let's start when you got the nickname Go Around.
I forgot about that. Go Around Pat.
Yeah, there you go.
That was it, huh?
I don't think anybody can argue the fact that he's probably one of the nicest guys in the room, especially being his own.
Yeah. Very patient.
Did you bring extra fuel for the go around, Pat?
You know it. and you know, like Tommy saying that the patient stuff like that, you can't see the bugs of all the mouses, like the mice that smash into keyboards and stuff like that, right? That you guys don't see and hear. There you go. Oh man, yeah.
Really good truck driver too.
Well, you know what they say, right? Plane, trains, and automobiles, right? There you go.
Oh, that's right.
Just so you're all aware, Pat will be providing the in-flight entertainment portion for the day.
Oh, there you go. So you want me to run around the cabin screaming or what?
Yeah, if you can light your hair on fire while you do it, I think that'd be great.
Oh, don't want that. Oh, I guess you can't really see from the picture, right? So there you go. Yeah, there's nothing to burn there, so.
That helps us get ready in the morning faster, doesn't it, Pat?
There you go. Roll out of bed, ready to go.
Yep. No muss, no fuss.
Farnborough traffic, Millennium 001 is 10 miles from HON, descending through flight level 254 for 3000 Farnborough. Oh yeah, that's Millennium 001 Heavy.
And Farnborough Millennium 160 Heavy, leaving flight level 350 for 3000. Currently 7 miles from Hotel Delta November, Farnborough traffic.
World traffic Millennium 12 passing 280 for 3,000 feet and currently 7.5 miles from HON.
Farnborough traffic, Millennium 304, heavy, top of descent, 25 nautical miles from Hotel Oscar November. Descending to 3,000.
Farnborough traffic, this is Millennium 014. Currently at 28,000, descending down to 3,000.
You know, Cap, real quick, I want to let everybody know why we are flying to where we're flying to. And I did not mention this when I was describing MacAir. So every month we have Steve, who picks a location in the world that is either unique or has a challenging approach or something about it that we will travel to. And so it's the destination of the month, and this month, for the month of July, the destination of the month is Farnsboro. And the reason why is because it is the host of a very large air show that many of you viewers may be familiar with. Unfortunately, due to what's happening in the world, it was canceled. And so, very fitting, our Destination of the Month manager chose this location, and that's why you see so many different airplanes in our flight today, because we are essentially bringing the air show to Farnsboro, even though in IRL they weren't able to.
Because that's how we roll, yo. You forgot that part. Go ahead, you can say it, Joe.
Yeah, what the Cap said.
Oh, come on, you're from the East Coast. That's how they talk, right?
Yeah. Just like Pat says A all the time. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, my thing is how you doing, yeah.
How you doing?
You know what that's from? That's from eating all that really terrible pizza.
Oh, how you doing?
So this is the same guy that says pizza in North Carolina is as good as pizza from New York.
Who said that?
Yeah, who said that? I'm just saying that New York does not have the best pizza. They just think they do.
I might have to vote for Chicago. They've got pretty good pizza there.
Yeah, I knew somebody was going to chime in with Chicago. You have to,
Yeah.
right?
Gonna have a pizza fight here today.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you ended up in front of me there, Joe.
By how far? Because my TCAS was off.
A couple miles. That's right, I'm speeding back up now anyway. Actually, my aircraft is slowing down.
Slowed down to 250 to give you guys some separation.
You want me to stay ahead of you? You want me to? I can do a quick procedure.
No, I think I'm going to end up passing you anyway, so just keep doing what you're doing over there, because you're wandering off to the right because of your arrival, so I think it'll work out fine. There's Joe right there. And then Jerry should be falling back behind us there somewhere. We just don't want to run into each other, that's all. Of course, Joe already flew through me. Now, I don't know how it's looking for you guys, but I'm about to descend into a nice thick layer of clouds.
I got the same.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
I can see the ground where I am, but I see a big cloud in front of me.
Alright, real quick. Per active sky, the weather at Farnsboro is the wind 260 at 9. Temperature is 19, dew point 15. Visibility is 10 plus. Precipitation is light rain. Altimeter 29.907, QNH 1015.
Keep in mind also, guys, that transition altitude is 6,000 feet here.
Thanks, Cap.
They're weird.
So I finished the flight into Amsterdam this morning for that circadian rhythm, or however you say it, challenge, and the weather was pretty nasty. It was ILS all the way down to about 200 feet. But on the first approach, I actually had to go around because I was above the glide slope and I couldn't see the runway. And I never do go arounds on my channel.
There you go. See?
Is that one that's going to be a video later?
Yep, sure is. I rarely fly without recording it anyway, so I figured, what the heck.
I guess there'll be a pilot's life video later on too.
From Simbit World, yeah, there's another one of those already done. I haven't recorded episode 3 yet because I was having some issues with the Aorous CRJ, big surprise. So we'll see how it goes with that. I've got so many series going at once that it's hard to keep up sometimes. So sometimes I just pick something to fly and fly it and forget about all the series I got going on so I can enjoy myself a little.
What you want is have fun.
What's that?
You want to be able to have fun.
Yeah, and that's really just it. If something's giving me frustration or something like that and it takes away from the fun, then there's really not much point in doing it. And I don't want that fun to go away because I got a lot of folks that watch my channel and they count on me to keep putting out videos, and I already had a 2-year hiatus. I think that's probably enough, huh?
Rested now?
Yeah, I'm well rested. Alrighty, folks, let's start taking a look at our initial approach procedures here. The ATIS has already been obtained. You heard Joe gave it to us. We've already done our approach briefing. We do need to put in our decision height, which is 419 feet. So let's go ahead and put that in here real quick. It's going to just show up as 420. Oh, that's a little... Oh, there's
I have about 60 not gonna max to...
Alright, there we go. Okay, what else? We set our landing data. I got to remember to get rid of the speed brake here. Bad move on my part. And let's just double check here. So we're still looking at 160 knots. Now I can tell you we're going to be coming in really heavy and really fast. So we're going to use max auto brakes here. All right. And what else we got here? ICUS recall needs to be checked. Over here. Nothing coming up on there. That's good. And then it's just taking care of everything on our flap schedule, which we'll be doing here shortly. So we're going to be on it in no time. Let's see where the other guys are, if we can see any of them. Yeah, there's one of them right over there. So we should be just far enough ahead of them. Should work out pretty well. Yeah, Joe, it looks like you're off to my right quite a ways now, so I'll be making a left turn up here in about 10 miles anyway, so that should get me well ahead of you.
10-4 per the arrival, I'm slowing to 210.
Roger, I'll hold 240 until I get down a little further. That should help too.
10-4.
Alrighty, it's looking pretty good, folks. Should be a good landing. Should be fun. It's going to be tight.
1-2 Heavy is passing 10,000 feet at turning at CPT.
Front row traffic, Millennium 160 Heavy is at Indocs, 6,800, descending to 3,000.
Yeah, we'll see how this works out. You can see Joe off to the right there. Looks like he's about to come across us now, actually. Did you just make a left turn, Joe?
I did, sir.
Roger, you should end up going right underneath me here in about 2 miles.
I'll continue to slow down.
Yeah, I see off to the right there. I'm starting my left turn now, and then I'll be going on a left downwind.
We're traffic mirror 003 heavy, 10 miles to the west of the Onnelly VOR, planning Compton 1 Victor arrival, passing flight level 236 for flight level 100, Farnborough.
Farnborough traffic, Millennium 001 heavy, crossing Delta 261 Quebec, direct to Delta 2450 for a left downwind, ILS 24 Farnborough approach. Alright, there's transition altitude. So we're good there.
Farnborough traffic's Millennium 015 heavy, 014 heavy, passing Holly 7500 all the way down to 3000.
So I'm going to hold 240 until we get to
Jerry, I'm now at 200 indicated,
Delta.
200 knots indicated, passing Dixby now.
I got you on the map.
And I'm going to hold 240 knots on my downwind so that I can stay ahead of you guys.
Heck, you got some breaks in the clouds out here.
Yeah, I had one. I had a few too, but now I'm IMC with rain.
I just passed Coben.
This should be interesting, huh, guys? It's going to be a tough landing, that's for sure. They're getting a little bit of rain, but we're not, so. Here's 4,000 feet there. Remember, we're supposed to be, at Vexup, we're supposed to be at 3,000. That's 3.5 miles. So we should make it. And, yeah, we don't really need to throw the drag out yet. But we can go ahead and, well, we'll change this to 2,000 here momentarily. Just want to make sure we don't exceed 3,000 feet or drop below is what I'm trying to get at. Throw the speed brakes out for a second. There we go. Coming up on Vexup now. Let's go ahead and bring that down to 2,000. Farnborough traffic, Millennium 001 heavy crossing Vexup, leaving 3,000 feet for 2,000 on a left downwind for ILS 24 approach Farnborough. Alright, let's go ahead and throw that first setting of flaps out there. That'll bring our speed down just a little bit more. Looking pretty good here. Can't see the airfield off to the side. Yes, I know. And let's see, we're supposed to be at what, 111.55. Let's double check our nav radio, just make sure it's correct. 111.55. It shows 244 degrees on here. We'll see how that works out. Let's put this back on the initial reference. So 160 knots. And as we start making our turn here, we'll bring in the next setting of flaps.
Farnborough traffic, Millennium 160 is at Vexum at 3,000.
So he's not too far behind us, that's for sure. Hey, just a reminder, Joe, I'm doing an extended downwind here.
10-4, I'm going to follow suit.
Let's take a look at our,
I'm
telling us our checklist is incomplete. My bad. We didn't do the descent checklist. Man, I forget that stuff all the time.
014 passing WOD
All that's good.
at 3,000 feet.
And altimeters are set, and that takes us to our landing checklist. Put that back on the engines page. I am bad with those checklists.
Gary, I've slowed to 185 per the arrival. 185.
All right, we're going to bring in the next setting of flaps here. That brings us down to 205.
2500.
We'll be starting our turn here momentarily.
So what's going to be the prize for the best
Stand by.
landing here, Cap?
Farnborough traffic, Millennium 001 Heavy is turning left base all the way to final for the ILS approach to runway 24, Farnborough. I don't know, what should the prize be?
Traffic, Millennium 130 starting descent.
I don't know, Joe, what do you think the prize ought to be? Next setting of flaps coming in.
I'm not sure. I don't really think about that.
All right. Oh, come on, thrust. Need that thrust to kick in. Woo. Okay, so 165 is going to be our V approach speed. Let's go ahead and hit the localizer switch. It should grab that here shortly. Probably before we complete the turn. There it is. Hit the approach switch. Farnborough approach, Millennium 001 Heavy is on the localizer runway 24, Farnborough. Alright, keep swinging around. Alright, let's get to a proper view here. Track hour coming on a little jump. There it is. Let's center it back up properly. Alright. And glide slope is not alive yet, so we'll wait on that. I don't know why she's climbing. Should be at 2,000 feet. How terrible would it be if that turned out to be our airfield? Like it just wasn't in here. It's not our airfield. I don't know what airfield that is. Alright, the approach switch is activated. As soon as we catch the glide slope, we'll go gear down, flaps 20, and we'll bring that speed back a little further. Looking good though, looking good. Now she's starting to descend a little bit.
Farnborough approach Millennium 1-2 at 3,000 feet, passing Bexup
Could you imagine
on
if that was our
ILS
airfield?
approach for runway 24.
So I've been considering doing like a challenges series where you guys give me some type of challenge and I fly it. If that's something you guys are interested in seeing, let me know down in the comments, and maybe we'll start doing something like that. That'd be kind of fun, like where you pick like a tiny little airfield like that to land a 747 on. Doesn't necessarily have to be realistic, just something something different and challenging is kind of the idea. We'll see if that's something you guys are interested in or not. All right.
Farnborough traffic, Mirage 003 Heavy at Compton, passing flight level 105 for 5,000 feet, Compton 1 Victor, arrival Farnborough.
You can just see our happy lights there on the left hand side. We're still quite a ways out, can't really make out the airfield. Glide slope isn't alive yet.
160, just turn left to a heading of 280. Inbound the ILS for runway 24.
Waiting for that glide slope there. We really need that. We're still below it though. You can see all red lights up there. You can see the little diamond right there hasn't started moving yet, but we should be coming up on it here pretty quick. CF24 is half a mile, and that's where we're supposed to intercept at 2,000. So we'll see if that works out or not.
Farnborough
it's
traffic,
FF24 is where we intercept. My bad.
11 Heavy at Dixon at 3,500 feet, descending to 3,000 for runway 28.
Alright, let's go ahead and let's get the gear down and go
Farnborough
flaps
traffic.
20. Take over the speed here. Glide slope is alive. Let's arm the spoilers.
Farnsboro traffic, Millennium 160 heavy.
Bring this down to 165.
On the localizer for runway 24, full stop.
Next setting of flaps.
Farnsboro traffic.
Farnsboro traffic, Millennium 001, short final, runway 24 on the ILS, Farnsboro. Okay, and flaps 30. Let the aircraft settle for a second here. It's going to need it. You can see it got a little high. You can see there's a large displaced threshold there.
Millennium traffic, or Farnborough traffic, Millennium 124, just past Compton,
There we go.
descending 6,000 feet from 8,000 feet.
That is going to be a
Cross-traffic,
tough landing,
ILS, runway 24.
boys and girls. That's going to be...
1,000.
Dear God, that runway is short. Alright, let's get the autopilot
traffic,
off.
Millennium 12 heavy, turning left onto base leg for runway 24.
Need to keep her going down a little bit here.
Approaching. 24.
That's a bit much. That's a steep approach too. I didn't notice anything that said it was steeper than usual.
5.
I don't think there's going to be a soft landing here, guys.
400.
Alright, we're looking good though.
300. Approaching minimums.
Looking good.
200. Minimums. 100. 60. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Come on.
4,000 feet remaining. 3,000
We're going to use the bulk of it.
remaining.
There's 80 knots, manual braking.
2,000
Ah, that was good. And we landed at negative 146, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, negative 146. Beat that, Jim. I had to mess with Jim.
Crying out loud.
Well, see, now it's your turn, right? I'm way back down at the list, right, for the being picked at, so there you go. Somebody else can.
All right.
That was butter, and that runway is short, boys. It is short. Alright, let's get these lights off here. Maybe. There we go, and the strobe light, which is that
Alright,
one.
so let me put my baseball cap backwards, and there you go.
Farnborough traffic, Millennium 001 heavy, clear of runway 24, and that landing rate is a negative 146, Farnborough traffic. Let's see if we can get back here and get a view of the other guys as they come in. There's one of them right there. Let me just get her all the way up around the corner. I'm going to go a little quick here. Let's go ahead and let's get those spoilers up.
Farnsboro traffic, Millennium 160, 5 mile final, ILS, runway 24, full stop, Farnsboro traffic.
Let's get those flaps up. And let's get the APU on. And we'll let her coast up here just a little further, and then I want to try and get a nice view
Mirror
out.
003 heavy, turning at Dixip, 5,000 feet for ILS runway 24.
Track hour coming off. There it is. And I just want to make sure I leave enough room, just so that everybody knows I'm going to remain on the taxiway so I can get a good view of you guys coming in. Just letting her stroll up here. We want to get Joe's landing, so... Oh, let's see if we can get up just a wee bit further here. I got a nice easy stop for the moment. Let's get that parking brake set. And let's jump to an outside view here.
Feeling I told you it might total percent little wrong. I'm 10,000 feet at the dip, where I should be on 5,000.
Look at Jerry putting it down like a pro.
Farnborough traffic, mirror 003, turning left base, runway 24, ILS, Farnborough.
Nice stuff, Jerry. Good job. What was your landing rate?
Let me get off the runway first.
Good God, that's a runway?
I think he's going to touch down early. Oh, he floated it. There he is. He's down. I was, oh, he's off to the side. His sim obviously has.
Oh, I went so far out, I'm almost lined up to land at Heathrow.
Who just landed?
That's me.
Your scenery is different than mine. You landed on the grass. Well, there's trip 7 right there coming in. Really close. Are you on the ground? Yeah, looks like he's down. He's on the grass too. Oh, that was cutting it tight there, those two. Oh, is this Pat landing on the first try? That's quite the flip there.
All around.
Is that a bug in the Matrix?
He's still got runway. He can go around.
This is true.
Look how short he stopped.
That 737 will stop on a dime, man. Nicely done, Pat. What was your landing rate, do you know?
Stand by.
So if I may, Cap, this is kind of a good point to to let the viewers know something about the MacAir. So what happened to me is I have here locally, as I mentioned before, I had a thunderstorm that was passing through, and I had a loss of internet and loss of power. So I just restarted everything and restarted the flight, and our custom-made ACARs, which we call MacArs, has the ability to recover your flight from the last save point. So I was able to do that and now be able to complete the flight. So if you as a pilot are doing a flight and something happens like what just happened to me, all is not lost. You don't have to redo the entire flight. As long as you have don't mess with the default settings, it will save your flight every 10 minutes as a default setting. So this is just another feature that we have here at MacAir that is not necessarily unique, but is definitely advantageous for pilots.
Yeah, it's definitely a great point, Joe. It could be really frustrating for, like what just happened with you. You lose credit for an entire flight, especially if it's a really long flight. So being able to recover it is really a big deal.
It saved me a lot over the years.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking, I was kind of annoyed, but at the same time, I was like, you know what, this is a good demonstration of some of the features we have here at MacAir and our custom-made MacArs. I was able to recover the flight and now be able to complete it and not have any issues and not lose all of that flight time.
Yeah, definitely a good point.
Farnborough traffic, Millennium 124, clear of the runway. With a landing rate of -122.
Ooh, look at you!
Wow, very nice, very nice.
Outstanding.
Farnborough traffic, Millennium 130, established on the localizer, 18 nautical miles.
So what were you flying, Steve?
737, the default one for FXX.
Cool, good job.
Yeah, I usually get under 100, but I'll take it.
That's something else we have at MacAir. Modesty. Humble people.
It got sick quick around here, didn't it?
We've got that in barrels and barrels.
Yeah, we got barrels of something, but I don't think it's modesty.
Yeah, right.
In fact, I think I just hauled a few barrels of that in on my Cargo Lux aircraft. Who hasn't landed yet?
I haven't landed. I'm 12 nautical miles out.
And Terry,
Jerry, you still on here?
Yeah, I'm on the ground.
oh, you're here already?
Yeah, but Jonif has never reconnected.
Oh, that's a shame.
No wonder we didn't see you come in.
Alright, well, we got a few more minutes until Joachim is ready to land, so let's just take a look here at anything else we need to do to shut the aircraft down. Let's see, weather radar should have been turned off, or frying whoever's in front of us. We can turn traffic off.
Well, I
And
got
we
your
can
pie rep.
Transponder to standby, and parking brake is set. APU is running right now.
Millennium 130, 10 miles out.
Yeah, he's got 10 miles to go yet. So we're sitting on the APU right now. We can connect to ground power, so let's just go in here to our ground connections real quick. And set the chocks. Request the ground power, request the air conditioning unit. And we're not gonna bother even with unloading the aircraft. We're gonna wrap it up from here. We'll get that last landing and then we'll call it good. You can see he's got his cones and stuff out. That's kind of cool that we can see those. And there's our cart coming up right now. So we just got to wait on that ground power. Oh, it looks like the ground power is already there. So, oh yeah, yep. So we can turn that on. Turn the APU off. Come back down here. We'll go ahead and open up the doors real quick. Why not? Let's go doors. Open. Oops, wrong one. I do that every time too. And nose cargo, side cargo. These guys here. And what the heck, we might as well get the service vehicles while we're at it, right? Side cargo.
I see that Joey is behind me.
Request the stairs. Request the rest of the cargo. Those will all roll out.
Alright, Joachim. Let's see it.
There we go. Let's go take a look at where there's the baggage loader there, eh?
122 is the one to beat.
Oh, let's see here.
I am on an aircraft that is very easy to float. You shouldn't even fly in this plane. It has a lot of ground effect.
Yeah,
That's
you've
true.
got a short runway.
You could just make him out right there.
Odds på traffic Millennium 130 fully established.
I think I glazed my brakes trying to stop short of Tom.
Don't blame me for that.
Farnsborough traffic, Millennium 160 Heavy is on a 15-mile final for runway 24 full stop, Farnsborough traffic.
Well, Joe's gonna take another run at it, eh? Sorry, Pat.
There you go.
I'm doing fully manual right here.
Alright, let's see it.
That like a little bounce there, buddy.
Can't the second landing rate?
No, you have to share now.
298. Sorry, 296.
Ah, that's not that bad. It looked worse. It looked like he slammed down pretty hard.
I have disabled the AI traffic, so where are you?
Off to your
we're off
right.
to the right.
Road traffic, London 160, 10 mile final, iOS 24, full stop, Farnsborough traffic.
It's all up to Joe now. We're expecting it to be perfect.
Wasn't it the highest landing rate?
No, I don't think yours was the highest.
No, I think it was me. Yeah. At minus 3 something. Yeah, 389.
Whoops, my my MCAR crash. Must refly it.
There you go. Yeah.
You don't have the restore part of it?
No.
Oh yes, yeah. There you go. There you go. It just disappears and reappears like 20 miles out. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there. I guess I'm gonna have to land again.
We're gonna start calling that pulling a Joe.
Yeah, but the difference is I warned you well before I was landing that this could happen, so...
Well, just because you prepared in advance for the probability of you having a horrible landing doesn't count.
He's Marine, so he prepares ahead.
We'll let it slide, Joe, just because it's you, buddy.
And no pressure. Nobody's watching.
Yeah, no, just everybody.
Are you live streaming this on YouTube at the same time? There you go. How's that for pressure?
YouTube and Twitch.
I think there's a flock of ducks at the end of the runway there.
Oh, that's it. He's floating it down.
Butter.
Floaty,
Should be butter.
floaty.
Oh, lost it at the end there. Lost it at the end.
I would like to hear the cockpit. Long landing, long landing, long land, land.
I get that a lot in mine.
But it was in the touchdown zone. Maybe on the other side.
Yeah, he was just past the touchdown zone. Yeah. But see, the thing is, it's such a short runway. Like the two zones are pretty much just about connected, right? So.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for this one, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give a very special thank you to all the members of Millennium Aviation MacAir who joined us for this flight. It was a really good time. I had a lot of fun, and I hope that all of you did as well. If you haven't had the opportunity, head on over to macairvirtual.com. Take a look at what we got going on over there and see if it's something that'll suit you. Along with that, if you haven't already done this either, go ahead and smash that subscribe button for me and click on the little bell so you get notifications when I upload videos. I'm trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the year, and I'm hoping that works out. We can do some sort of giveaway. Also, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That lets me know I'm doing a good job with the Oh, there's a hiccup for you. Lets me know I'm doing a good job with the content. And if you didn't really care for the video, there's another hiccup for you. You can give it a thumbs down, but please give me some sort of constructive criticism kindly down in the comments so that I can do a better job in the future. And let me know if you'd be interested in doing more of these group flights. I think they're a lot of fun. I certainly like flying them, but maybe they don't work out for a video so well. You guys let me know. That's going to wrap it up. That's it. That's all and no more, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, as always, keep the blue side up unless otherwise instructed by ATC. God bless you all and have an absolutely wonderful day. Now everybody say goodbye real quick.
Goodbye, real quick.
Goodbye, real quick.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching.
You have to say sorry now, Pat.
Oh, I'll just have to wait. Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. I was waiting for everybody to be done, so sorry.
Sorry, eh?
Thanks.